welcome back to Bookish Brits. My name is Michelle and I wanted to talk to you today about being best friends with a fictional character. In my last video I was talking about some of my fictional crushes recently, and today I wanted to talk to you about something that I always find slightly similar, and that is when I'm reading a book and I realise that my biggest wish in life is for these characters to come alive and make it possible for me to be best friends with them. I have a list of 6 fictional characters that I'm going to talk about today, and a little bit about why I really want them to be my best friend. So let's get started. The first fictional character I'd like to be best friends with is Simon from the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. Now, I have only read the first 3, possibly 4 books in the Mortal Instruments series, but it's just from the first few books that I really strongly remember Simon as a character, and I loved that he was best friends with Clara. Yes, he has feelings for her, but I think he was just a really great person to have around. He's very geeky and funny, and he just has, I think he just has a really great outlook on life, and I like that sort of I just think that his personality and my personality would go together well, and we'd have some really great adventures together. The second fictional character I'd love to be best friends with is Harriet Manners from the Geek Girl series by Holly Smale. And the Geek Girl series is a really popular series on the Bookish Brits channel. We continually mention her, and I think that's because it's such a fun series. I think Harriet Manners is one of my favorite ever characters from any book. I love how geeky she is and how awkward, and just how much fun it is to read about her stories. And not only is it fun, but it's also really emotional as she deals with like bullying and being okay with who she is, and family dramas and her relationships and just everything about it. And I think that she would be the most amazing best friend to have. Now, the third on my list is a tie, and it's 2 characters from the same series that I couldn't decide which one I wanted to be best friends with more. So I'm going to lump them together, and they are Luna Lovegood and Neville Longbottom from the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. And I just adore them both so much. So much. I love how Neville is just one of those characters who seems like he's kind of on the outskirts of like the main trio, but he comes in at really significant points and changes everything about, and I love how actually pivotal his character is to the whole series, and he's just amazing. And honestly, it has nothing to do with the fact that I have a really large crush on Matthew Lewis. And Luna Lovegood as well is just incredibly wacky, and again, her outlook on life is just amazing. You know, I wish that me as a person would be as free as Luna Lovegood seems to be with who she is, and how entirely okay she is with being incredibly different to everyone else around her. I think she is amazing, and I love her so much. The 5th fictional character on my list is Mio from the Name of the Blade trilogy by Zoe Marriott. I mentioned Shinobu in my last video, and today I want to talk to you about Mio and how amazing she is. And I just think that I'd love to be friends with her. I mean, you can see how wonderful of a friend she is with her relationship with Jack in both The Night Itself and Darkness Hidden. And you know, she does a lot. She puts herself through a lot in order to protect and rescue and, you know, keep the people that she cares about the most safe. And I really quite I do really enjoy all of Zoe Marriott's main characters. I think they're all incredibly complex characters with a lot going on, and I just adore Mio a lot. Next up on my list is Sia from the Testing trilogy by Joël Charbonneau. I'm really surprised by this series. I've only read the first 2 books in the trilogy so far, but I have the 3rd book on my shelf to read very soon, and I'm really excited about it. I really enjoy this series, and a lot of that is down to the strength of the main character, Sia. You know, despite all of the comparisons with the Hunger Games trilogy, I think that Sia as a main character is entirely different to that of Katniss. You can see that Sia is very like logically minded. Is that, you can see that Sia uses a lot of logic and problem solving methods in order to get things done, and I think that she's really intelligent and resourceful, and especially in the first book you could see that when she was leaving for the testing she had all these worries. Instead of worrying about herself, she was sort of worried about her friend and what will happen to her when she leaves, and will she be isolated and alone, and she sort of makes plans in order for her friend to be looked after by other people. And I thought that was really, really sweet, and it said a lot about Sia's character herself, and I totally want Sia to be my best friend and for her to look out for me. And the last fictional character I'd love to be best friends with has to go to Franny B from The Worst Girlfriend in the World by Sarah Manning. I could have chosen absolutely any of Sarah Manning's main characters at all because I love them all in their very different ways, but I really, really loved Franny B, and seeing her struggles throughout this book with everything going on in her life, with her parents and her best friend and her love interest and this like weirdly bizarre crush that she has, and I really, really loved her. I just her sense of fashion and just everything that came out of her mouth, and I was thinking, I love you. Let's be friends. Can we be friends? So those are the fictional characters I'd love to be best friends with. Who would you like to be best friends, or any of the characters on my list? Would they appear on your list? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.